I went to the sarcoma doctor and he's like, "You're not a typical sarcoma patient. I don't wanna," and these were his words. He said, "I don't wanna poison you with this, and I'm not trying to scare you, but you're gonna get leukemia. You're gonna have so many other complications from this because the treatment is so harsh, and this treatment is usually for children, and this cancer is usually in the long bone area and things like that, but it can be in the ovaries, and that's what I have. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and the tumor that they took out was 10 by 16 centimeters, So my name is Linda Roundtree. I'm from Metro Atlanta, Georgia, South Metro Atlanta, Georgia, and I have 3 kids, an 8-year-old boy, another 6-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old daughter. And my husband works for the FAA. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So my cancer journey started this year, 2022. In March the 28th, I was having some pains, and so I went to my OBGYN, and they saw something in the ultrasound. They weren't sure what it was, and then a few days later, it's a tumor, and we find out it's a tumor, and ended up having surgery of April 13th of this year. So it's about 6 months and a few days since, and they told me they couldn't diagnose what kind of cancer it was there at the hospital. So they had to send it to Harvard, to one of the top tumor gurus in the world. And it was if I'm correct, immature teratoma, birthing features of a sarcoma, which there's only 60 people in the world to date that have that diagnosis. Very little literature on it. When I first got the diagnosis, I saw a local oncologist in my town, and he immediately just wanted to get me started on sarcoma chemo, which was the 5 chemo drugs. And I was just like, no, I don't want to get started on this right away. I asked him my prognosis, and he couldn't give me a number. And so that's where I was just like, okay, death sentence. I was like, is it 50%? Is it 40%? And he said nothing. And so I was like, okay, this is not good. So that's where I was like, okay, let's start looking at trials. Let's start looking at natural. And so that's when I started getting into more holistic, more natural, because I'm thinking, I don't want to be on chemo and have a poor quality of life. I don't want to be on 12 months of chemo. I've got 3 kids and a husband, and if I'm gonna pass, then I'd rather be healthy and not be sick while doing chemotherapy. So there was a lot of prayer involved, a lot of prayer. And our church came together, and also that was very important to have that community surround you, and to know that God's got your back and that God is there for you. It's been quite a journey. And but that's kind of how that's how I got to this point. That's how I chose Hope4Cancer, was just the horrible prognosis and feeling like I was going to die, even with chemo. So why not try something else, since I'm not getting any guarantees from here? So there's these different places that my husband researched. And there's like Brio Medical, I think in Arizona, and Hope4Cancer. Even my mother-in-law had brought it up and was like, oh, look at this, Hope4Cancer. And she's not for the natural. And so that was like, what is this? Even she is looking at things and suggesting things. And oh yes, I heard about that place from someone else, So God was just leading me down this path. And Yeah, my husband kind of reached out to all these places, and we reached out to Hope4Cancer, and exactly like 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, it was really quick, Claudette ended up calling. She was the first one to reach us back. I was like, okay, here's an option. Talked with a few other places, and I was like, no, Hope4Cancer. Hope4Cancer, they reached out to me first, and I really liked the fact that Hope4Cancer does the B17 Laetrile infusions, because you can't get that anywhere in the States. And a lot of the states have similar, but Hope4Cancer had a lot more to offer and a lot more to give. They do the emotional, spiritual, and Dr. Tony's 7 key principles, and I really liked that aspect of it, that they hit so many points. The experience here has been wonderful. You meet people, we stay in contact. The therapies, you don't feel sick or anything from them. The worst thing is getting the needle, getting the IV, but then it's done. 2 seconds and we're done. And you feel energetic. I have more energy now than I did last year, a year ago, and I'm 6 months post-surgery. And a couple months ago, I was like, hey, I feel like I can run if I want to. So I was running, which was something I couldn't do. I could barely walk after surgery. So it's, the staff here is amazing. Gustavo, the chef's amazing. Dr. Laura, my doctor here, and Dr. Tony, they're both very amazing. I was able to come during Dr. Tony weeks and have a consult with him, and that was very, actually Claudette arranged that, because I wanted to come right away as soon as I got the new news of the new tumors. And Claudette was like, well, wait just a couple weeks so that you can be here for Dr. Tony week. And that really helped and changed a lot of everything. I mean, just having his input really brought, comfort, because he's been doing this for years. So, but him and Dr. Laura are a wonderful, wonderful team. And the nurses here are great. It's so good to come back and see them, and it's like family. This place is really like family, and it's totally opposite from what you feel in the oncologist office back at home. I just felt like a factory. Everybody's hooked up to their chemo. Everybody's sitting in a chair. Nobody's talking to anybody. They're just on their phones. And they don't know that there's something out there that's better, that's not harmful. You don't lose your hair. You don't feel bad. You're not throwing up. I mean, I feel healthier now. This is my 2nd time back, and I've improved in some areas. Now I have other areas I need to improve and get those. But it's just totally different. It's a totally different mindset. You're building up your body to be able to fight this. And with the conventional, back in America, you're just tearing everything down. This approach is just so wonderful.